Hey, yo, what up? Welcome to the Overtime Sports Radio Show. It's your boy Tipsy. We're back this week. I got my man Rick with me. Rick, what's good?
How's it going?
Ain't nothing, man. Chilling, ready to get this show started. And I got my man Jason on the line. Jason, say what's up.
What's up, Tips?
Ain't nothing, man. What's good with you?
Same old, man.
Yeah, I feel you on that. So we're gonna get the show jumping today. Basically, we got a couple of sports things to talk about, but the first thing I gotta talk about, as you know, we have some technical difficulties, which mostly is on me sometimes. I got a computer that's dumb. So today I got myself a brand new phone, which is fantastic and I love it. And if it was legal, I'd probably marry
You better marry LeBron first.
it. Only if I get 50%.
Wait, so what'd you get? Come on, let's hear it.
So I got this Galaxy Note 2 from T-Mobile today, which may be the greatest phone ever made. I mean, like,
come on now.
there's
What
nothing.
is it really that great?
I'm going to be honest with you. All the endorsements aside from LeBron and from all these other people that are paid to do commercials for these phones, this phone really is basically almost like a small tablet. Like, it has a stylus, but the stylus, you really don't even have to really touch the screen in order to make it work. Also, when you're doing text messages, like if you can't type with the keypad on your, which for the text messages, you can take the stylus and actually write out your text. And as you're writing, it'll put the text into the little text box for you to send it off.
You know, that thing's so overrated because no one knows how to write cursive anymore. Nobody learns writing
You don't
cursive.
need
Do you
cursive.
see it? Exactly. No one knows
You
how
don't
to
need-
write anymore. Everything's text and voice to text. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, you got the voice to text, you got all that. It has a ton of apps that are already on it, on top of what apps you may use. But I mean, it has like eye scan retina recognition to like instead of having like a instead of having to put in like a
Secret
password or
code.
something to unlock your phone, like you
Now
can
it's James Bond like, right?
yeah, you can do like a retina scan, like it's ridiculous. You know, the cameras are clear, the sound is loud. As you can tell, I'm using it right now to do the show, and it sounds really good. Like I don't hear any breaks from anybody
Wow, you're coming in
when
very
everybody's
clear.
talking.
I'm very impressed.
It's very clear. So the sound scale and everything is great. I love it. I've been playing with it for hours, and like I'm in love with it. Like I may go have sex with it later.
So I got the iPhone 4S, right? And I want to know, what is that phone going to do for me that my phone doesn't do for me now? I mean, that thing, I mean, how big is the screen? I mean, does this even fit in a pocket? I mean, can
I
you
mean,
even take it around or?
it can fit in your pocket, but you probably want to get a case for this. Like it's a pretty good size, yo. It's almost like an iPad mini.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Isn't that too big? I mean, when you go to make a phone call, it looks like you're like, putting out a solar panel up against your face or something. I mean, you know, Tipsy, I
That
don't
may be
understand this, man.
this thing
Come
is
on, man.
amazing.
You know
This
what I'm
thing is
saying?
amazing, man. Look, you don't understand because you have an iPhone, and for starters, you have an iPhone 4, which means you're already behind the curve. So
4S, 4S,
you have,
4S.
but I just bought my wife the iPhone 5 today, so you're behind.
Well, I
The
don't have
5 is out.
what did you
So
just say a minute ago before we went on air that she's having issues with it already?
but she's technologically deficient, so
So,
that's a whole nother thing. It doesn't
yeah.
matter what phone I give her. I give her a flip phone and she'll struggle. So it doesn't matter.
Jason, what, help me out here, man. I mean, this thing. I mean,
Jason, what
it
kind of
looks like,
phone are you rocking?
yeah,
Wait, what's that?
What kind of phone do you have?
you got a flip
Man,
phone.
I'm on a old slide phone still, man. I'm like back in the Stone Age still.
Said a
He's like
slide
he
phone.
he looks like
Slide
Men in Black back there, pushing the little button, a little thing comes out, right?
Yeah, yeah. My phone's it's old, man. I haven't upgraded now. I mean, I've had this phone for since 2000.
But I hear you just fine. You're coming through loud and clear, brother. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
What cell phone company do you have?
I'm gonna ride it till it dies on me, man.
What cell phone company do you have?
What's that?
What
Jason.
cell phone company do you have?
are you AT&T? You Verizon? What, Jason?
Oh, Verizon.
Verizon will give you a free phone if you take that shit in there
Yeah, I know. That's what I heard, man.
Well, not if you
Tell
want.
them that you need. Just show it to them, and they'll give you a free phone just on GP.
If you want a money iPhone though, you got to pay $200, even with the free upgrade.
Well, at T-Mobile, the iPhone 5 is $99.
Look, I don't want anything that's
Oh.
endorsed by a bunch of pink stuff. You know what I'm saying? T-Mobile, everything's pink.
I paid $200 for this for the Note 2.
I bet you did.
It's got like the screen is like 8 inches.
You pay $200 for the stylus.
Hey, the stylus. Every time you take the stylus, if you lose your stylus, like it can locate it. And
oh wow, boy! I wish I had that feature.
hey, this stylus is like a small piece of equipment.
People that own it have small pieces of equipment. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm trolling a little bit, man. But,
this phone is great. My other phone sucked ass, and I was deeply disappointed with the other phone. And I had to get this. I had to get a new phone. Like I didn't have any choice.
tell me the truth. You got it because you thought LeBron James would come to your house and hang out with you now, right?
I mean, if there was a contest to enter for that and get the phone, I'd enter the contest. And that dude would be right at my crib playing 2K13.
It doesn't mean that you're gonna have a great jump shot just because you got the phone like the man, right?
Maybe if I tape it to my side.
Look, if I got a phone that big, I think better give me like a 12-inch schlong on side of everything. Motherfucker better hook me, baby.
But this phone is amazing, yo. Like it's amazing. I mean, seriously, like I can't find anything wrong with it. I mean, it's big, but I mean it's big for a reason. Like it has a purpose. It's not just big just to make people go ooh.
I think it's just gonna get old after a while. I mean, it was hard enough for me to get used to having this big. I got the what's the outer box big case, because I owned my first iPhone for about a week before I broke the screen on it. I work in retail, so that's my day job, and sling freight, moving crap around all day. You're bound to bump into something. And of course, the screen's the first thing to go. So it took a while for me to get used to this outer box being hanging off my hip. But man, I don't know, something that big. What's that screen? Is like a 6-inch screen?
It's like 6 inches.
Jesus Christ, I couldn't do it, man.
And I have to get one of those cases. Like I have to get one of those soft leather cases, like that flip. This phone change, I automatically have to like start talking and dressing like Carlton Banks when you get this phone. It's that sophisticated. It's that sophisticated that it has to change your whole lifestyle. Like, 1 minute you're in there, you're like, yo, I need the Galaxy Note 2. And then as soon as you get it and you get outside, it's like, I think I might have a tea and crumpets today and watch a little polo on the telly.
I hope
like it's that sophisticated.
You gonna start listening to the same music and dancing like him?
I'm gonna start listening to Beethoven and lots of Chopin and maybe some Tom Jones and Wayne Newton. I'm gonna rock all summer. I'm rocking khaki shorts and sweater vests.
That's funny as hell. What do you think, Jason? He's lost it, man.
Yeah, man. He likes that phone. That's for damn sure.
Hey, start wearing rain jackets and top hats like the Pink Panther.
Look, I'm very technically challenged, man. I spent, I will see. I got home at like 6. I started working on this thing about 6:30, trying to be able to record some of these conversations, to start doing the old podcast here from the house. And 2.5 hours later, 3 hours later, excuse me, and I still can't record anything. So luckily you're even talking to me, let alone being able to work a phone like that with a little Jimmy hat and a little kickstand and everything else. That's what the stylus is for, so you can.
And I can download the app.
The screen is a little small, you know what I mean? So I do struggle sometimes to watch the movie on the phone, but and I thought I would use it a whole lot more for a lot of that stuff. But to be completely honest with you, if either I'm looking at Twitter, or I'm sending a text, or I'm checking the latest sports, that's pretty much it. That's all I use it for. Everything else, I mean, I might, go to Fandango and book a movie or something on here, but but the other stuff, like, maybe a YouTube video here and there if I saw something I wanted to show somebody, but I don't use half the apps. I probably got 100 apps on this damn phone. I might use 3 of them.
Yeah.
Kind of a waste. So I
Well,
mean,
I use a lot of apps.
Yeah,
I use a lot of
yep.
apps on a daily basis. Like,
Yeah, how to find a woman.
yeah, I mean, like I use a lot of apps because my Facebook page, I'm always posting
So that's one
sports
app.
stuff, entertainment stuff,
Uh,
videos, news, whatever's going on, I'm always posting, so I've got like, my video apps, my TVs, you
right.
know, I play Words with Friends. So I got like my Words with Friends apps. I got my Instagram, my Twitter, all these different apps that I used,
I'm
on
exhausted
a
already.
daily basis, as well as like, like my bank, my app for my bank, and
You have a
stuff
job
like
too,
that.
right? You have a
Was
job
that?
too, right?
Yeah, I
You,
have a job.
how the hell do you do all that and work?
It's really easy. It's a lot easier than you think.
I'm exhausted already just listening to you describe all the things you do on that phone in a day.
I sit at the desk. I sit at the desk and I'm on the computer all day. So, if I get a bunch of updates that I feel like I need to post, I just go to the
Let me
bathroom
guess,
real.
work for the government, right?
No,
Oh, I was
no.
gonna say, there goes my money again, my taxes.
I wish if I did work for the government, I'd post twice as much.
No doubt. That's why Mr. Fuego gets so much done.
I'd post twice as much. Yo, hey, government jobs pay a lot for a little bit of work, yo. Because unless you're doing something really serious and big time, you're not really doing anything at all. So it's always amazing. Like, I hate when I lived in DC, close to DC, I always hated smug DC people who always seem to think that just because they worked in DC, that they were more important than everybody else.
Right.
I'm like, okay, they make
Yeah.
you wear.
Look, I worked on a construction job for 12 years in DC. It ain't no big deal. Okay. I mean, it is what it is.
It's not like, okay, so you work in DC, but you wear a suit and tie to go to work, but you deliver mail all day.
Right.
You're
Exactly.
not important. Get a fucking, you know what I'm saying? Have the mail delivered to you, and then you can say something to me.
Exactly. Well, I worked on a Reagan
So
building, which is like
you're
the
just a
biggest
well-dressed
concrete
hillbilly.
job on the East Coast. And it didn't, it wasn't any status symbol. It was just, I had a steady job for 2.5 years at least on that job. So it wasn't status. It was just job security,
Yeah.
you know. But I'll tell you, it sucked riding that metro every day. I'll tell you that. That was some crap.
Oh, yeah. That's why I couldn't do it. I can't. I'm not a big advocate of public transportation. Like, it's just the worst.
Of course, back then, I mean, there was no iPhone, iHap, none of that crap. It was, you read a book or you read a newspaper. As a matter of fact, that's the most books I ever read in my life was riding the metro to work every day when I worked downtown. There was none of this. I mean, I think maybe I had a flip phone, maybe not even then. I don't think maybe I had a pager back then. I'm not even sure if I even had a pager.
Oh, pagers.
Yeah, dude, that's right.
Pagers. I remember those.
But look, I mean, here's the thing, though. Let me tell you something right now. I mean, I'm pushing 50 right now, but I'm going to tell you this. If I had the apparatus that you guys have today, oh my God, would my life been a lot easier. I would have gotten laid so much. It would have been ridiculous. I would have had to I'd have had stock in Viagra just to keep up. Back in my day, you wanted to get a date with somebody, you had to like call their house, ask their mother if you could speak to them.
Yeah.
They were home, maybe they weren't. You know what I mean? You had to see them at school, try to catch them in between classes, spit out some
a lot of work.
invite, in 2 seconds. Look, we could talk about that when we come back because it's just ridiculous. The differences in dating now versus back then. Even keeping up with sports. I mean, you had to actually go in and read the box scores. You had to look at the newspaper the next day to find out how many yards your running back got. So we'll talk about that more when we come back. This is Overtime on Fuego Beach Radio.
What's going on? This is Fuego Beats from Fuego Beats Radio, and I want to tell everyone to check out the greatest sci-fi radio station out, Super 564 on Blog Talk Radio. They have the best topics including sci-fi films, comic books, video games, and they even have a featured artist segment for musicians weekly. So if you have an obsession with sci-fi films, music, or video games like me, then this is the station for you. Make sure you check them out on blogtalkradio.com/super564. That's blogtalkradio.com/SUPAFI64. All right? And remember, stay connected.
Log in, FuegoBeats.com, YouTube, Mr. Fuego Beats. Welcome back to the Overtime Sports Radio Show. This is Tipsy, and I got my man Rick on the line. Rick.
Yes, sir.
And I got my man Jason on the line. Jason, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Getting ready to get back into the show. So before we left, we were discussing something about Doug Gottlieb. He had an interesting, I guess you want to say, rant or quote on the March Madness halftime show. So we're going to take a listen to that, and then we're going to get into it and get the thoughts on what he said.
Into the crop. I don't know why you guys asked me. I'm just here to bring diversity to this set here. Give the kind of perspective on things from the point guard position. No.
Okay, just checking. Marquette, Miami.
How about you guys?
No, I'm just checking, man. I'm just checking. You jumped right into it. You swimming hard.
Okay.
Hard. Upstream, I might add.
Trust me, we'll get you back before the end of the night.
Question. So,
Man, and when you watch that when you see the video to that, you can see just how uncomfortable everybody was on the set. I mean, at one point, I think it was Kenny Smith on the side. He just completely turned away, like there was a producer in his ear pretending like somebody was talking to him. He didn't even want to look him in the face. Everybody, it was like you could see them all just kind of move a little away from him, like Moses parting the Red Sea. I mean, I get it. He was just trying to, make things a little lighter and try to, bring his way into the conversation there. But he's not supposed to be the comic relief. That's Charles Barkley's job. He's supposed to be the analyst, the I guess the guru on set, as it were, on the college basketball. And he just stepped in a big pile of crap. And Twitter exploded, Facebook exploded. And for a little while there, he was the most hated man in sports. I don't know. I as a white guy, it made me uncomfortable. It made us look stupid. I don't know. He should have just, gone in and just, said what's up to the crew, gone and done his job, what he was supposed to do. What do you guys think? I was uncomfortable watching it for him.
Well, having heard it just for the first time now and not really seeing it on TV or anything, I could feel like, even just listening to it, I could feel like that the rest of everybody else was just completely silent, and it felt like they were in shock as to what he was saying. I couldn't figure out the point he was trying to make, and he was trying to, justify what he was trying to say, but then to say you're giving a white guy's perspective is just kind of one of those moments where you're just like, you're not sure how to really feel about it. And I can't really tell what type of context he was saying it in, but it just seems like it's one of those things that you probably shouldn't say out loud on the radio, on TV.
What do you think, Jason?
I personally think, like a lot of stuff, I think it's being blown out of proportion, man. It was a bad joke. It was a bad. I mean, Doug Gottlieb was a cornball to begin with, so I mean, it doesn't really. I wasn't really surprised that he said something. He's never said something that dumb before, but I don't know, man. I'm at the point where, like, you got so many people. You say one thing nowadays, and they're like crucified for it. So I'm like on the other end. I mean, it was an awkward situation, but I just don't. I think that people forget about this next week. Someone else will say something stupid, and they'll have the other. But Doug Gottlieb, if you listen to him long enough, he's always sticking his foot in his mouth. He's just never done it to that degree. But I think it was just a case of just a bad joke. But I mean, I don't look at him any different. I always thought he was, corny to begin with.
Well, I'll tell you what, it sure divided people into two different camps. Barkley came out later in that same show and acknowledged the fact that, it drew a lot of attention on Twitter and Facebook, and he basically called for everybody to just calm down. I think he said that, it was no big deal. No one on that set took any offense to it. Basically, hey, if it didn't bother us, it shouldn't bother you, so just pipe down and relax. But then Mark May, former Redskin offensive lineman, said he should be canned. said that after Doug Gottlieb's ignorant comment on CBS, he should be canned, May tweeted. That type of comment is meant for a bar, not a national stage. Nice job, Gottlieb. I hope all the kids 12 and under didn't hear that. I think that's a little too far. That's a little harsh. What do you think?
I think Mark May's got some thin skin. I don't understand how it rubs people the wrong. Like does Mark May not have nothing else going on, man? I mean, to me, when people get that overboard over something like that, to me, they ain't got nothing better to do. That's just my opinion. I don't think how you get that irate about something.
I met Mark May, and outside of the fact that his hands are as big as dinner plates, there's somebody in his family that was lying to him too now. Okay, he's one shade short to be calling anybody out. So I don't know. It's one of those things where everything's so politically correct now. Everybody's in fear of hurting somebody's feelings or saying something out of context. You know, it's a little maddening. I mean, you can't even really talk and have a conversation anymore. You're always worried who's going to overhear you, who's got the microphone on. I mean, it's a little insane for me.
I agree.
Seen that yet? I think we lost Tipsy. All right. Well, the technical troubles continue. But like I said, it's one of those things where this politically correctness has gone a little too far now. And I think you're right. I don't think May does have anything else going on.
No, I mean, my whole thing is it's like the freedom of speech is almost being taken away. I mean, the guy said he apologized. I think right after he said it, I'm pretty sure he apologized. And you made a good point. If the guys on set didn't take it personally or nothing, then no one else should.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he was right there in the middle of them. You know, and I'm sure he's known them all for a very long time. And I mean, Charles Barkley is the most outspoken person on the planet. Probably, if anybody was going to have a problem with it, he definitely would have said it. You know, he's not afraid to speak out. So, I've heard Barkley say way worse than that, and no one ever jumps down his throat because they're just used to. If he said something, it'd be like, oh, that's just Charles. Right. Exactly. It's that double standard almost. Yeah, we could get into that a little bit more, but I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and talk tourney time, baby. The brackets are thinning out. The cream is rising to the crop in some cases. In other cases, the cream sunk to the bottom. Right now in the Midwest region, you've got Louisville, Oregon, Michigan State, and Duke. I only see one number one seed there, Louisville on that side, and Duke number one and number two, Michigan State 3, okay, but Oregon number 12, pretty wild seeing them come up there in the Midwest. The Eastern region, we've got Syracuse and Marquette. How about Marquette coming up there? I mean, number 3, you know, but Miami was riding that high. Your boy coming, who's that? The coach from Miami.
Jim Lanaga.
Right. Coming in there from his George Mason run. Gets a nice gig in Miami and almost did it, but comes up a little short. And then Indiana, who I had picked on last week's show to win the whole thing, getting punked by Syracuse. The Orange Men.
Yeah, I had Miami winning the whole thing, so yesterday my bracket got shut.
Wow. No way. And in the South, what do we got? Kansas, Michigan, Florida, and
all the Gulf Coast.
Coast is still riding it, still coming through. They got a date with Florida. Nice deal. By the time this airs, they'll probably be playing or close to playing. Still got the number one Kansas out there. Not bad. And then we got Wichita State and Ohio State. Wow. Boy, that makes you wonder some of these brackets and the seedings. I mean, now Gonzaga was the Cinderella story, 3 or 4 years ago, whatever, 5 years when they made their run.
Right.
Then they kept pushing them into, across the country to play in the tournament, knocking them down, number 2, 3 seed. They finally give them a number 1 seed, and they let them play close to home. Staying in the Western region, and then they just come up short against Wichita.
Yeah, they were. I think they got I thought Miami should have had number 1 seed. Gonzaga's record was a little misleading because if you look at the schedule, played anybody. and Miami winning the ACC conference and tournament championship. They said if it had been something like Duke or North Carolina, they would have been number one just on that name. So Gonzaga was a little bit overrated going in. You could tell after they barely beat Southern out of Baton Rouge, 16 seed, by 6 points in the first round, they were in trouble.
Exactly. So now, all right. So you got, who do we go with now? Is it Louisville way or?
Yeah, Louisville. Yeah, Louisville looks. Oregon just lost to them by 8, but they wasn't that close. They controlled the whole game. Louisville's, I think, no question they're the favorite right now.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I know that a lot of brackets were broken in that first round, and it just keeps continuing as the top seeds continue to fall in the March Madness. So when we come back, we're going to get a little into some Tiger Woods. We'll talk about a few things. He's back to number one. And we'll come back here with the number one sports radio show on Fuego Beach Radio. This is Overtime.
You're listening to Fuego Beach Radio, the number one online talk radio station.
All right, we're back from commercial break. Welcome to Overtime Sports Radio Show. I am Tipsy, and this is my boy Rick on here.
What's up?
What's going on? Overtime Sports Radio Show brought to you by Super 64 and JSNL Clothing. And right now, we're gonna wrap up a little bit on the the NCAA tournament here and delve into the NBA real quick. So, Rick, quickly, I just want to know, who do you have in your Final Four?
Wow. I mean, I'm going with chalk. Give me the number one seeds. There might be, a number two come in, maybe. Duke, might be the only one I see, but I go chalk, man. I go Kansas. They look great. I just can't see. Georgetown's gone. That was going to be my I don't know if you call him a dark horse number two, but I guess maybe that was just me reaching because I've rooted for them since back in the day. But Indiana. I think they're going to win it all anyway. I don't think it really matters who else is going to be there, but give me chalk and maybe Duke is number two coming in.
All right. I think Louisville will make it because I think they're just probably the most talented of the teams that's out there. I think Indiana will get there because they're just, Cody Zeller, he's just
right.
a long, lanky monster.
Right, a beast.
He's a beast. And I would say Ohio State, but I think I'm gonna go Gonzaga because I think the one dude that they got, Olenek or whatever, he's just a beast. But he reminds me too much of Adam Morrison, so I wanna say Gonzaga, but at the same time, you don't want to be compared too much to Adam Morrison. But
so you think Gonzaga is legit, huh? A lot of people are saying that it's just going to be another fizzle out, but you think they're legit? Huh?
I think they're legit enough, and I think that the tournament is going to weed out some of the tougher opponents for them in their division of the bracket, where it's going to be kind of easy for them. It's going to be surprising if they don't make it.
Right, that's true.
And I'm going to go with
3 and 4 is already gone, right? New Mexico's gone. Kansas State's already gone.
Yeah.
Ohio
So who are they going to play?
Right, exactly.
And I'm going to pick VCU. I'm going to pick VCU to go.
Ah.
I think VCU, they've already had that experience. They have too much speed, and the guards are just way too good, defensively to, that they can really shut down any of the guards. There aren't really that many good guards anyway, really. It's mostly big men, and that's the only thing they lack, and that's the only thing I could really see where they would run into some trouble making it to the Final Four is that they don't have that big dominant guy. They rely more on speed and guard play than, the inside power game.
So they're going to have to go through Kansas to get there.
I think Kansas will lose before then.
Oh, wow. Wow. UNC?
I think Kansas will lose before then. Maybe to UNC, maybe to somebody else if they even get to play UNC. I just don't think. I think Kansas is one of those iffy teams where they don't always come to play. They think they can always get by just because they're Kansas, and somebody's going to knock them off.
Well, I know that UNC Villanova is an 8-9, but I don't think they're that close. I really do. I think UNC's they're just. I think they're number one. Their coach has been there, done that. I just think they're a better team. So I think they'll definitely, breeze through their game against Villanova, and I think it will be, it'll be a tough matchup. Kansas, UNC, both of them have been there. I mean, we've seen this matchup before, so it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. That's a crazy pick. I like that.
UNC right now is up by 4 with a minute and a half left against Villanova.
Yeah.
So anything can still happen there. All right, so we got the Final Four. Who do you think ultimately wins the national championship? It's a tough pick.
My man got cut off, I think.
Did he get cut off?
Yeah, yo. But since Fuego's on right now, I would like to say, I think Indiana or something. I'm trying to pick them. Just because their name is Indiana and I like that name. I'm just joking. I don't even pay attention to college. I'm being real with y'all. So I'm just listening to these boys, man. They saying Indiana's nice. They talking what, Louisville?
Louisville.
That's I'm kind of thinking I'm going that way, that Louisville name, because I don't like Indiana because I hate the Pacers. So that's what it is. I'm going to try to get Rick back, and then I will leave y'all alone. I don't know what happened to his line. What the hell just happened to this? No, I don't want to try to get him back. Why? Okay, let's do this. Remove him. Okay, we'll get him back. We'll get him back, everybody. He's coming back in. Connecting. That's what happens with the DC area internet. It drops for no reason. That's what's up. Oh, man. Come on, man. Yo, you know what, Tipsy? Yo, we're going to go to a commercial break. I think you should do that.
All right, we're going to go to a quick commercial break on Overtime Sports Radio Show. We're having a little technical difficulties, and we'll be right back in a second.
And you're listening to Ghetto Radio. Let me stop.
Yeah.
Order to the Mayans, get a grip, you can't contain me.
Yeah, this is Rhubarb, and you are listening to Fuego Beach Radio, the #1 online radio station for emerging artists.
Log in, FuegoBeats.com, YouTube, Mr. Fuego Beats.
All right, thank you for coming back. This is Overtime Sports Radio. This is Rick from Just Man Talk again. I'm flying solo. My compadres are busy and have family obligations, so we're going to be putting this down with your help. Hopefully it'll be a great show, so hope you're enjoying it so far. Right now, of course, we've talked NBA, but now it's time to talk about the big dog. That's right, the NFL. That's right. If you're an NFL fan, you are as pumped up as I am when you hear that music. I think I got a little chub working under the table here. So why the excitement? The NFL has released the schedule for next year. That's right. They have released the new NFL schedule. Of course, we're still 5 months away. That just shows you how big the big dog really is. When they can release the schedule 5 months in advance and you can get this excited about going through it. Of course, the draft is a little more than 5 days away. So, again, the excitement. I mean, the NFL has become a year-round spectator sport. I don't care if they're playing a game or not. There are things that happen in the NFL from the free agency signing period, the OTAs, the draft, the release of the schedule, these things, training camp. It doesn't matter what's going on in the NFL. It's exciting if you're a football fan. They are definitely market geniuses over there. They definitely know what they're doing. The sport has grown to monumental proportions. NFL has got to be the most popular brand. You could arguably talk about Nike, Apple, whatever, but the NFL, at least in the United States, has got to be the most popular brand there is. So, of course, when they release the schedule and you see the enticing matchups coming right out of the gate, week one, it really does get you going here. So let's talk about it. Let's get into the schedule a little bit. So week one, they start Thursday night, first game right out of the chute, Ravens at the Broncos. Of course, you've got the big contract Flacco signed in the offseason, making him their franchise quarterback for years to come. You've got Peyton Manning on his second year back after being out of the league for a year with the neck surgery and things. The signing of Wes Welker in Denver makes that a very exciting game. Lots of intriguing storylines there. They're going to make you get right out of the gate a divisional matchup. To see these two go at it, it's going to be something pretty special. A great way to kick off. You have the retirement of the linebacker there, Ray Lewis, of course. So a lot of exciting, intriguing storylines going on in that game, of course. Let's talk a few of the other games here. Saints, Falcons, two teams that are expected to be in the NFC race in the playoffs. So a nice first day Sunday matchup there. Go down a little further here. We've got Vikings, Lions. Are the Lions actually going to do something this year? Packers, 49ers, the 4 o'clock game on Sunday. An exciting matchup there. San Francisco has added some key players there. They've had a great offseason, one would think. The Packers lost a few players, but you can never really count them out if they're healthy. Sunday night, Giants, Cowboys. Are the Giants going to bounce back again this year? Romo, with his huge signing in the offseason, his huge contract that he signed, is he finally going to live up to the hype, or is he going to forever be the greatest regular season quarterback to never do anything in the playoffs? Locally here, we're broadcasting out of Virginia, right outside of D.C., so the Redskins rule the land here. They open up Monday night, Redskins, Eagles. Divisional game. You got Chip Kelly taking over the Eagles. There's Donovan McNabb. There's a Freudian slip. Is Michael Vick going to earn the starting job there and run that blur offense that was popularized in Oregon with Chip Kelly? How is that going to translate into the NFL? Can the defenses defend against it? Will they be in shape enough to stay out on the field long enough to be able to stop it? I mean, when you're running an offense that's predicated on running a play every 12 seconds, you're talking about blur. You're talking about superior conditioning you're going to have to be in as a defense and as an offense in order to stay out on the field and be effective in either running that offense or stopping it. So very intriguing matchup right out of the gate. RG3, will he be back? Of course, that will be the biggest story leading up to that game, is RG3 coming back from his knee surgery, 2 ligaments being repaired, one for the second time. So, again, there's a ton of storylines. You can see I'm charged up already. So it should be a great first week in the NFL. Is it going to tell us the story of the season? No. But it's definitely going to be exciting. I'm obviously, you can tell I'm excited. So again, we're in DC here, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about the Redskins schedule. Of course, the thing that jumps out at you is the Redskins get 5 primetime games. Now, this is kind of this concerns me in one of 2 ways. Well, actually, it concerns me in 2 ways. One being, obviously, I love the fact that we're going to get the spotlight on 5, primetime games, and normally that would be a great thing. But with RG3, rehabbing this off season. Of course, the main question is he going to be healthy enough to start week 1? Now, Adidas is running their campaign all in for week 1. They've been running that for a while, which I think is stupid to put that kind of pressure on a player when you do not want him to play unless he is 100% healthy. After all, that's kind of what put him out of the league last year to begin with, was coming out and playing on a knee that was already injured to the point where he should have come out. I think, and I think a lot of people would agree, that he should not have been playing that last part of the game there. So you wonder, obviously, the best thing would be to make sure he's 100% before you put him back out on the field. You do not want to rush this young man and have him come back out on the field unless he's 100% week 1. Obviously, the more important thing here is to have him healthy for a very long time, for a decade to come. And the last thing you want to do is risk that by putting him out on a game 1 in a season where it's a 16-game season. You don't want to rush him back. And even though it is a divisional opponent, I think, again, it's more important to have him out there for the long run than it is to get him out there quickly just for the sake of doing it. So having a Monday night opener, but again, you've got they'll have plenty to talk about. His rehab, how soon he'll be back, when there'll be a lot of prognosticators talking about when he'll be able to return. Of course, no one will know that except for RG3, and his body will tell him when it's ready. He's ready to come back. And of course, you've got Kirk Cousins, the whole story there. Again, the Redskins drafted him after drafting RG3, raised a lot of eyebrows. I think they used a 4th-round pick on him. So there were a lot of naysayers questioning that move. Of course, last year, they paid dividends when RG3 went down, and Kirk Cousins was able to come in at the end of the game and throw the touchdown pass for the win, and then the following week play the full game and notch another win on the Redskins. Fantastic finish, which put them in the playoffs and gave them the division crown at the end of the season last year, which they would not have done or been able to do had Kirk Cousins not been able to come in and perform the way he did. You would kind of wonder what would have happened if we were, had stuck with Rex Grossman coming out in those late seconds of the late minutes of the game when RG3 went down. Of course, we saw what happened the year before when that happened, with going back and forth between him and McNabb, whatever. So again, we'll see what happens. I'm excited about the prospect of him being back for week 1, but again, I would rather he come back when he's fully and completely healthy before we put him out on a field and risk losing him for another season or endangering his career long term or forever. So again, we open up Monday night, Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to be a home game, so that'll be very exciting. FedEx Field will be rocking. The following week, Sunday, 1 o'clock game, Green Bay Packers. Bam, bam, 1-2, right out of the gate, 2 NFC matchups. The following week, we go to Detroit, and then we go. We're home against Detroit, and then we go to Oakland. So if you're looking at that first 4-game stretch, the following week we have a bye. The Redskins could conceivably come out of that 3-1. And the Eagles with Chip Kelly, you got to wonder, there may be some action early, but you would hope that the Redskins could, even with Kirk Cousins, could knock them down without an issue. Green Bay Packers may be a tough one going to Green Bay. Of course, we're lucky in the fact that we get them in September and not in December, so the weather should not be an issue there. Home against Detroit. Detroit beats us. The one thing, they're never very good, but they always seem to beat the Redskins, or at least give them a tough time. So that'll be interesting to see if the Redskins can finally shake that dog off of them. So we'll see. But that Oakland Raiders, I don't think they'll be any good. So Redskins could come out of that 3-1, and then they go to Dallas. A Sunday night primetime game, another primetime game, 8:30 p.m. At Dallas in in the Strip Palace there. So that'll be exciting. Then home against the Bears. Then we go on the road to Denver. That's going to be a tough game. We're the 4 o'clock game on Sunday that day. Then we come home against San Diego Chargers. Then we go to Minnesota, to the Eagles. Now that takes us up to November 17th. Again, the Minnesota Vikings game is a Thursday night game, so we're home against San Diego. Then we go to Minnesota on a short week, and then we've got 10 days to prepare for the Eagles game on that Sunday afternoon. So there's no reason why we shouldn't sweep the Eagles this year, and for that matter, Dallas Cowboys probably split with the Giants. We'll see about that. Then we've got 3 home games in a row: San Francisco, the Giants, and the Kansas City Chiefs. San Francisco, that's going to be a hard one. They're stacked this year. That's a Monday night game. Then the very next week, we're home Sunday night against the New York Giants. So 2 back-to-back primetime games there. Then Sunday, Kansas City, I don't expect them to be any good. I have no faith in Kansas City Chiefs getting things together there, even with the recent acquisition of their new quarterback. Then we go to Atlanta, home against the Cowboys, and to finish up at New York Giants. So that could be those last 2 games versus Dallas and home against Dallas and at the New York Giants. That could decide the division if RG3 is able to come back healthy and play the way he did last year. And even with the salary cap hit, hopefully we'll be able to add a few, at least 1 or 2 starters through the draft, which I expect them to definitely go with defensive back help, either being safety or corner for sure. We'll see about that. But so very exciting. The schedule being released. Redskins with 5 primetime games and an opening weekend that looks to be phenomenal. Looks to really get things started off. The NFL sure knows how to do it. Get things started off with a bang on week 1. So we'll talk more sports, more NFL when we come back. Again, this is Rick on Overtime Sports Radio on FuegoBeats.com.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Fuego Beats back, and I'm letting you know that if you're looking for the latest clothing and accessories, look no further than JSNLonline.com. JSNL has the latest t-shirts, they got sunglasses, watches, anything that you need. So make sure you guys check out JSNLonline.com today and use Fuego Beats Radio as your promo code to get 15% off. That's JSNLonline.com, Fuego Beats Radio as the promo code. And remember, stay connected.
All right, welcome back. This is Rick. I'm here with Jason. What's up, Jason?
What's going on, man?
All right, it's overtime, FuegoBeats.com. Like I said before the break, we're going to go real quick. What we've got here is the 16 remaining contestants, as it were, in this little mock. It looks like a bracket system they got to vote on who would be the next Madden cover athlete. So what I'm going to do, Jason, I'm going to play psychologist here. I'm going to basically shout out 2 names. You just give me the first one that comes to mind. If you have a reason why, that's great. But we're going to do so. I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to try to keep track of these as we go down. And then we'll see who we end up putting on the cover. How about that?
Sounds good, man.
All right. So right off the bat, Joe Montana and Dan Marino.
Joe Montana.
I figured. Ray Lewis, Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders.
Jerry Rice, Michael Strahan.
Jerry Rice.
Deion Sanders, Troy Aikman, 2 teammates.
Deion.
Thank you. I can't stand either one of them. Surprise, Colin Kaepernick or Arian Foster. Oh, say I get it. It's old school versus new school. Sorry, I left that out there. So
okay.
Colin, Arian Foster.
Arian Foster.
Yeah, Kaepernick hasn't done enough yet.
Exactly.
Luck, Russell Wilson.
What's that?
Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson.
I'm gonna go ahead with Russell Wilson.
Yes, sir. Robert Griffin III, Ray Rice.
I'll go with Ray Rice, just because Griffin hadn't played long enough yet.
I know, breaking my heart though. Wait till this year. Adrian Peterson, Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, AP.
AP, right. Okay, so that puts us with Arian Foster against Russell Wilson.
I'll go with Arian Foster.
Okay, we got Ray Rice versus AP.
AP.
All right, on the other side, we've got Joe Montana and Barry Sanders.
Whew. Go with Montana.
Then we got Jerry Rice, Deion Sanders.
Jerry Rice.
Okay, so right now our final four is Joe Montana, Jerry Rice. You got Arian Foster and AP, Adrian Peterson. So out of Adrian Peterson, Arian Foster?
Yeah, I'll go with AP, man. The year he had this year was just incredible.
And out of Montana and Rice? So the one that caught it.
Might as well flip a coin on this one, but I'm gonna go Montana.
Yeah, he wouldn't. Jerry Rice couldn't have done what he did without Montana, right? I guess it's chicken before the egg.
Yeah, I mean, vice versa. I mean, Montana didn't have Rice. He wouldn't have, it wouldn't have been as good. I mean, that's kind of like, to me, that's like a Stockton Malone basketball. Like, one without the other just doesn't.
Exactly.
One wouldn't have been as good. Huh?
Drum roll, please. We got Joe Montana, Adrian Peterson for the win and the cover.
You want my opinion or who I think is going to get it?
Who do you, in your opinion, who you put on the cover?
Who would I put?
Adrian Peterson or Montana?
I'm an old school guy, man, so I'm going to pick Montana. But I could easily see people picking AP just because they're usually, prisoners of the moment kind of thing, and the year he just had was unbelievable. So I could see people putting AP in there. And I think when it comes down to it, I actually think people will vote AP against Rice. I think that'll be the final two. But I had Montana. That's just my personal preference.
Yeah, if I had to pick on emotion strictly, Adrian Peterson was absolutely inspiring what he did last year. I would agree with that one. So,
right.
Well, great discussion, man. Again, debate this stuff for
me. The old school is way tougher to pick than the new school.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because you got a lot more memory, recent memory you can go by, recent performances. The old school, unless you're an old guy like me, you didn't even see how.
Who would your old school pick be?
Oh, it'd be Montana. I mean, in the clutch, you talking about mental fortitude, who could do it when it had to be done. Joe Montana, man. I don't care who you got out there catching the ball. If you can't make that decision and have the balls to pull the trigger when he does, then
I agree, man. Anytime you pick Montana, you really can't go wrong.
Exactly. Well, it's been a blast, man. I'm glad you got on this week, and look forward to doing this again. Hopefully that we could get Tipsy back on and next week and keep this thing rolling. I had a great time.
Thank you, man. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely. My name is Rick, and you can catch me on justmantalk.com and on Twitter at justmantalk. And Jason, go ahead.
I just wanted to shout out PeteMavericks.com, the website we have. Just got shirts, DVDs, basketball, stuff like that, if anybody wants to check it out.
Awesome. And, of course, we're broadcasting on Fuego Beach Radio on fuegobeach.com. Shout out to our supporters there, jsnlonline.com and superfly64.com. Check them out. Give them a follow. And look forward to seeing you guys again next week on Overtime at fuegobeach.com.